I went on a business trip to Las Vegas, and they put me up at the Four Seasons out there. Beautiful hotel. The reason it's a beautiful hotel is not because of the beds. Any hotel can buy a fancy bed. It's because of the people who work there. That when you walk through the hallways and somebody says hello, you get the distinct feeling that they wanted to say hello, not that they were told to say hello. We can tell the difference. We're highly attuned social animals. We can tell the difference in this kind of behavior. You can always tell when somebody's working on commission, right? You can tell. They happen to have a coffee bar in the lobby. And so one afternoon I went to buy myself a cup of coffee, and the barista working that day is a kid named Noah. Noah was funny and charming and engaging, and I stood there for far too long joking around with Noah just to buy a cup of coffee. So as is my nature, I asked Noah, "Do you like your job?" And without skipping a beat, Noah said, "I love my job." Now, to someone in my line of work, that's significant, because like is rational. I like the people I work with, I like the challenge, I get paid well, I like my job. Love is emotional, it's a higher order thing. Do you love your wife? I like her a lot. It's different. Noah said, "I love my job." So immediately I followed up. Tell me specifically, I asked, what the Four Seasons is doing that you would say to me, you love your job, without skipping a beat. Noah said that throughout the day, managers will walk past me and ask me how I'm doing, ask me if there's anything that I need to do my job better, not just my manager, any manager. And then he said, "I also work at Caesar's Palace, and there the managers walk past us and catch us if we're doing anything wrong. There they want to make sure we're doing everything right. They want to make the numbers. I like to keep my head below the radar and just get through the day and collect my paycheck." He said, "Only at the Four Seasons do I feel I can be myself." That's a trusting team. That's what a circle of safety is. When we come to work and we feel we can be ourselves, we feel that we can make mistakes, we feel like our bosses are there to see us succeed. I get this question all the time, "Simon, how do I get the most out of my people? Like they're a towel that you wring." It's a flawed question. The question is, how do I help create an environment in which my people can work at their natural best? And the answers will be entirely different. That's called good leadership. And a leader's responsibility is to create an environment in which people can work to their natural best, in which the people can trust each other, develop these trusting teams. Trusting teams is something very specific. Trusting teams means that someone can come to work and raise their hand and say, "I made a mistake. I don't feel like I have adequate training to do the job you've asked me to do. I'm scared. I'm having problems at home and it's affecting my work. I need help." Without any fear of humiliation or retribution. If anything, they say these things with absolute confidence that people will rush in to help them. If we do not have trusting teams, what we do have is a group of people who show up to work every single day lying, hiding, and faking. They would never admit mistakes for fear that it would put them on some short list for redundancies the next time they come up or get in trouble. They're never going to tell you that you've promoted them and they don't know how to do their job for fear that they haven't earned it or they're not good enough or that they're going to lose your trust. They're never going to admit that they're having trouble at home and it's affecting their work for fear that if they were to take a day off, it would affect them. And they're certainly never going to say they need help. Well, guess what happens to an organization where the majority of people aren't admitting mistakes and aren't saying they need help? Eventually things start to break. They start to compound. We saw it happen. You remember the news a couple years ago? United Airlines dragged a paying passenger off their aircraft with a broken nose, a concussion, and two broken teeth. I feel sorry for every member of that crew, because 100% of them knew that that was the wrong thing to do and did not intervene because they feared getting in trouble more than they feared doing the right thing. They stood back and watched. This was not an anomaly. This did not happen overnight. This was not a one-time occurrence. I flew United Airlines years before, and I saw something play out in front of me that was a red flag. I was waiting to board the aircraft, and a scene played out in front of me where one of the passengers attempted to board the plane before their group number was called. High crimes and misdemeanors. And the gate agent yelled at him. "Step aside, sir. I haven't called your group yet. Please step aside and wait till I call your group," is how she talked to a paying customer. I spoke up. I said, "Why do you have to talk to us that way? Why can't you talk to us like we're human beings?" And she looked me in the eye and said, "Sir, if I don't follow the rules, I could get in trouble or lose my job." What she revealed to me is that she does not feel safe in her own organization. Her leaders do not trust her to do the job for which she's been trained to do. And guess who suffers? Customer and company. The reason we like flying Virgin or Southwest Airlines or any of these other airlines is not because they have some magical formula to hire the best people. It's because the people who work there feel safe, they feel like they have agency, they feel like they can make decisions in their own jobs, and they feel like their leaders trust them to do the job for which they've been trained to do. And guess who benefits? Customer and company. That's what creating a circle of safety is. That's what a trusting team is. That people feel like they have control and agency over their own jobs. I spoke at a large energy company. I did a workshop with some senior executives at a large energy company in the United States, and it was an unbelievably hot room they had us in. So I asked something seemingly very obvious: "Do you think we could turn up the air conditioning?" And we came back after lunch, and it was the afternoon, many hours since my request, and it was still unbelievably hot. And I said, "Were we able to turn up the air conditioning?" And they said, "Yes, we told the facilities people here they had to send the request to headquarters in Houston. We're waiting for Houston to get back to us before they can turn down the air conditioning." That's the air conditioning. Imagine how the rest of that organization works. That everyone there is afraid to make a decision. No one has any agency or control. And there's one thing we know about human beings, that our sense of enjoyment from our work does not come from work-life balance and how much yoga we do. Our sense of enjoyment at work and the sense of stress we have is all about our sense of control. That when we feel like we have control over our work, we actually enjoy it more. And control is taken away from us, where we fear making any kind of decision whatsoever. That's what increases stress dramatically amongst human beings. If you want to play in the infinite game, you have to have trusting teams. People who are willing to help each other when things go wrong. People who are willing to admit mistakes. But if we can't keep the organization self-improving, it will break.